The other thing that was a major change for us is that I did some research overseas and sort of thought actually the GraysOnline model could work in other countries. And particularly in the UK, I sort of thought this is an opportunity, and they like auctions there. It's part of their culture as well. And one of the things I noticed is that whilst we could have got the stock, we would have been killed in terms of the supply chain. And so whilst in Australia we say we're going to deliver to you sometime in the next 10 days, in London they're going, I want it 2 o'clock next Tuesday. And we just couldn't do that. We've got people wandering around warehouses, not being able to deliver that type of service. So what we did is we rolled out a full warehouse management system, spent a considerable amount of time on it, and actually got a lot of benefit out of it. So it can do wave picks to time. We've now got, because we have a lot of random different products, we can't automate it in terms of robotics, but all our guys are using pick to voice around the warehouse, and that pulls you down probably 30% in terms of labour charges in the warehouse. So that's been a very important thing. The other thing to do is that we've engaged a logistic partner. We took it to tender and said, guys, it's about $1 million a month. Engage and help us with all the services. So it wasn't just price we were looking at. We're looking at all the sort of services and the variation issues that they were going to have. So what happens if we did lose it, or what happens if it was delayed, and so on. And so we then work with this partner to try and work out innovative solutions to get this product around. I mean, we've got to deliver a kayak, we've got to deliver a computer, we've got to get perfume, we've got all these different products, we've got to get a barbecue to some guy in Perth. There's a lot of different challenges that we've got in that logistics piece. The next piece is we invest in growth. And so you say, okay, well in 2008, 2009, we built a new website, so it had all the Web 2 functionality. We wanted to be able to do fixed price as well, and so we invested in that. We also built a marketing team, so most of our marketing team knew how to put ads in newspapers and radio and do all of that, but they didn't actually have digital expertise. So we grew our marketing department from sort of 3 up to sort of 9 or 10 people, all analysing and doing the different work there. And then it's continuous improvement. We're continually investing and looking at what's happening overseas and trying to optimise our website. And at the moment we're getting a lot of great results around personalisation. And for us it's really important because we get a guy in from the mines who wants to be shown mining equipment. We've also got a girl that wants to see perfume. It's the holy grail for us is to have the Amazon type experience of that personalisation, and so we're continually improving that and working with the supplier there, Optimost, to make that work. So in sort of summary is that we sort of had to take control of the business, so you could run this, because it's a tough business, this internet, and if you don't have control it's even harder. You then got to grow it, you've got to transform it, and I think that's really important because we started as a different business, and a lot of you guys are starting as retail businesses or a traditional business. You've got to take everyone with you, and so you've got to speak to the people and you've got to explain where you're going. And to me, the worst possible thing you can do is to have an internet sales force and a traditional sales force and compete against yourself, because I just haven't seen that work. What we did 11 years ago was actually said to our auctioneers, you can do traditional auctions or you can do online auctions, and they decided with the person or the vendor selling which was the best way to do it. And eventually over time the internet was the preferred way to do it. And when you've been doing it a while, you've got a lot of stakeholders. You've got to reduce the risk in your business, you've got to drive efficiency, you've got to invest in growth, and you've got to look at the new growth initiatives. And so you're continually looking and trying to estimate, okay, what is this market going to look like in 2-3 years' time, and where are we going to sit within that market? And some of the seminars that I've seen in the US, they sort of say, look, unless you're Walmart or Amazon, guys, pick your niche and be the best at it. And I think that's very relevant for Australia as well, because you don't want to come third in this market. You've got to be up the top 1 or 2. So it's important there to be the best in your niche. So some of the challenges that that Grays face, and I think all people face, is the first one's access to stock. Australia is a unique market in the way that the retailers are very, very powerful. In a lot of categories there's duopoly sitting there and they control the flow of stock. And so that makes it harder to access stock. And so in the US, if you took out Amazon, the vast majority of the big people selling online are the multi-channel retailers. And so it's a different sort of feel, whereas in Australia, the larger e-commerce players are more pure plays. such as Catch of the Day, who just spoke before. So it's a different sort of market. And so everyone in Australia has to do different things. And I suppose our strategy is to stick in the discount area. And so we grow by adding categories on rather than moving into the higher percentage of retail.